Okay, Booth. Yeah, we're good now. Okay, great. And this guy has been flying down the freeway, currently making our way southbound here on the 110 freeway, almost to the point where it's going to come to an end here at the Port of LA. And this is the LAPD's Newton Division that is in pursuit. This actually all started about 20 minutes ago or so. We were listening to it when it was following. The LAPD tried to pull him over just south of downtown, and the vehicle actually did stop. The driver got out of the car, but then the passenger jumped in the driver's seat and took off. So it's been a high-moving chase ever since, from downtown down to the harbor. The vehicle is described as a black Toyota Corolla. That's what I'm getting here on the scanner, and you can see it there. And it's a smaller car. Unknown how many people may be inside beside that passenger who jumped into the driver's seat. But again, LAPD in pursuit, and whoever is behind the wheel here wanted in connection with a homicide. He really was going over 100 miles an hour, Colleen, and that's what made it so difficult for us to catch up. At points, he was going faster than what we can fly at, but finally getting overhead here. And again, he was just on the 110 freeway, is transitioning here to the Vincent Thomas Bridge, Highway 47. So this portions of it have been under construction for quite some time, but let's see what he does. He's not going to go that far. Just hung a U-turn here to exit into the San Pedro area. Again, LAPD in pursuit. Yeah, wrong way, and you see all of those big rigs coming from the Port of Los Angeles. Please slow down, please slow down. Just weaving here between vehicles here. Thankfully, those drivers not going too fast as they're just getting onto the Vincent Thomas Bridge there, but he is now heading north on Front Street from Reagan. There were so many units behind him, Michael, when he was on the 110 freeway. That I would estimate it was about a dozen. I didn't get a chance to count them all, but there were about a dozen squad cars behind him and 2 police helicopters. That's pretty rare. Normally it's just one, but in this case, because of the violent nature of this crime, there are 2 police helicopters over this, again, what is being described as a Toyota Corolla with a possible homicide suspect inside. Yeah, so right now he turned away from the port, but we're still in that general area. Get out of my doubler there here for just a second. So this is on Pacific Avenue. So right now we're going away from the Port of Los Angeles, but it doesn't mean that he can't just U-turn again and head back that way. Again, this may be a situation where he's just trying to get back onto the 110 freeway, which is where he came from, but coming up to an area with lots of traffic. Oh my gosh. Wow, and that pedestrian, oh my gosh, buy that person a lotto ticket. So close to where this driver just completely ran every type of red and stop line and is now back on the 110 freeway. Yeah, it's really dangerous in terms of speed and the maneuvers that this driver is doing, and considering the violent nature of the original crime. Again, some sort of homicide. We don't really know the details as to when and where that occurred, but we know that when officers from the Newton Division pulled the vehicle over just south of downtown. The original driver stopped and got out and gave up, but the passenger jumped in the driver's seat and took off. So that leads me to believe that perhaps that driver really wasn't the intended target, and it was perhaps this passenger who then took control of the vehicle and took off. You can see he's dragging the bumper now, but in terms of police intervention tactics, they can't try a pit maneuver. This is way too fast. Look at these speeds, triple digits. So way too fast. They can't do a spike strip either. They have to know where this guy is going, and at this point, he's completely unpredictable. Yeah, it could have been when he was kind of zigzagging between cars. I don't know if perhaps he did touch one of those vehicles, and that's what caused this damage. Because prior to this, we really hadn't heard about him colliding with anything, and the vehicle seemed to be fine when we got overhead. But just with those antics there in the San Pedro area is what caused the damage to the vehicle. And as we thought, he was just pretty much just trying to find his way back to the freeway. So now we're back northbound on the 110 freeway. And again, this started with the LAPD's Newton division. That is just south of downtown. So that is just south of the 10 freeway and east of the 110. Perhaps that's where we're heading. Sorry, Michael, I just caught the end of your question there about traffic, and traffic here generally light. He won't really see too much in the way of traffic until we get just south of the 405. It'll start to somewhat slow down as we come into the Carson area, and then if he does try to get onto that 405 south, which is an option coming up, that is extremely heavy. We did see that he was stuck in traffic earlier on the 110 headed south, and when he did that, he just used the center divider to get by, as he's doing right now. So when he does encounter some traffic, this is exactly what he does. This is that emergency lane. This isn't the carpool lane. This is that center divider where you would be if you got a flat tire or something of that nature. And you can see he's picking up dirt and other debris as he goes along, because again, this isn't a lane, but he's getting by this slower moving traffic here northbound on the 110 freeway coming into the Carson area. Not yet. So his next option, as you said, the 405 freeway, he'll have the option to go either north or south. My gut feeling is he's going to stay on the 110 because that's the way he came down originally. Beyond that, we've got the 91 freeway, east or west, and then the 105. But again, he passed all of those freeways earlier and had a chance to get on any of them and chose to stay on the 110. There's a spike strip. You saw the spike strip. You saw that CHP officer. I don't know if that was successful or not. I'm waiting to hear on the scanner if they think they got him on the passenger side of the vehicle. We'll see if he starts to slow down, and again, I'll wait for confirmation. But you saw the spike strip there, that very brave officer there from the California Highway Patrol getting in that lane to deploy that spike strip, and it might have worked. I do see him slowing down and moving over to the right shoulder. Yeah, it does appear to have been successful just because he slowed down significantly and appears to be trying to find his way off the freeway at this point. And as you said, that was the California Highway Patrol. This is their jurisdiction. We're on the freeway. But as far as I know, it's still LAPD that's behind him. I really haven't seen any squad cars directly behind him because when he exited the freeway, that's when he was able to kind of lose some of the units. But the airships are still overhead. Again, 2 police ships over this one as he exits the Torrance Boulevard exit here from the 110 freeway. Oh, there goes a tire. gone. I saw it roll off. He's dragging a bumper. I think there's damage to perhaps one more tire from what I'm hearing on the scanner. But you mentioned that unit is behind him. I see multiple units now. Very slow speeds here compared to what we had seen earlier, and it is a parade of patrol units behind. Yeah, correct. They know more about the original homicide than we do, of course. So we don't know if a weapon was used in that murder, if it was something like a knife. So at this point, unknown to us, but obviously these officers have a lot more information about who is behind the wheel and what type of weapon was used. So when this does come to a stop, we will see officers really slow things down. You will see them get out of their patrol units armed, likely with shields as well, perhaps even a police canine. There's really going to be no rush to take this guy into custody when it comes to an end. They will really take their time to make sure that nobody, not even the suspect, gets hurt. Yeah, at this point, you can see they're not on his right on his tail. They are giving him a little bit of room. They could have tried a pit maneuver at these spades, and they haven't done it. I haven't heard them authorized to do that. And usually when they're not authorized to do that, it means that they know that the guy is armed. So I'll continue to monitor the scanner, see if they do get permission at some point. But for now, they're just going to continue to trail this guy, likely until the vehicle just gives up on him. Yeah, so this is Main, right under the 405 freeway here in the Carson area. So we should see the vehicle pop out the other side unless he stops under the freeway. I can't imagine that he'll try to get on the freeway, and sure enough, he didn't even try it. So there he goes on the other side. Now this area is very close to the Dignity Health Sports Park. There's also a golf course nearby. So as I went out the shot, you'll kind of get a better feel of where we're at. You've got the wash there. It's not residential, thankfully, but a lot of commercial areas here as he continues northbound on Main and continues to slow down. We're also very close to where the Goodyear blimp is usually parked. I don't know if it's there today. Yep, there it is right there. So there's the Goodyear blimp as it comes just past this pursuit here northbound on Main. I think what we'll see is that the officers will be very careful in terms of continuing to chase this guy, just because we don't know if he's armed, but they likely have more information in that sense. They're not going to try anything dramatic. They can clearly see that the vehicle is not going to be able to go much longer. So they'll continue to chase at this safe distance with their lights and sirens, just to alert the general public here in the area of what is coming their way. Not incredibly fast anymore, thankfully, but still a very dangerous situation as we now leave those more commercial areas and get into what is a more residential area here just off of Main, north of the 405 freeway. Yeah, it helps that he's going so slow now, of course. That's why we're not seeing sparks flying any faster, and I'm sure we would. And in terms of any other tires being damaged, I never got word on the scanner here if the officers thought that there was damage to any one of the other wheels, but at this point it doesn't seem like it. So he should still have 3 good tires to continue going, but of course he's also dragging that bumper as he continues northbound on Main and comes up to Victoria Street. And I'll widen out the shot to give you a feel for the neighborhood. Commercial on one side, residential on the other, and coming up to a major intersection here in Carson. officers are really going to want to be careful on this one, so they really don't want to do anything that will potentially agitate this guy. So they could try another spike strip. Now that he's somewhat predictable, he's staying on Main, he's going northbound, and he's not really deviating from that. So at this point, officers really could go up ahead, set up another spike strip, perhaps get one of those other tires, and maybe that will finally bring things to an end. Of course, normally at these speeds and with a vehicle of this size, we would be talking about a pit maneuver. All LAPD units are pit trained, so they have that capability. But because this is a suspect who may potentially be armed with some sort of weapon, that is why at this point I have not heard LAPD authorize it. But of course, we'll continue to listen in and see if at any point that does become the next step. But for now, northbound on Main, going to be coming up to the 91 freeway here very soon. Yeah, and there may have been even more than that, but what we do know is that whoever was driving, they surrendered. LAPD Newton Division officers stopped this vehicle south of downtown, and the person driving stopped when he saw the lights and sirens, or she saw the lights and sirens behind them, and got out of the vehicle and surrendered. But the passenger jumped in the driver's seat and took off, and then jumped onto the 110 South. That led us all the way to where it comes to an end in the San Pedro area, the LA Harbor area, and then he U-turned, went back north, and then of course he did run over that spike strip. We saw it here live on the air, and that is why he lost that tire, and at some point obviously had that damage to the bumper as well, and that's really what has slowed things down. But that really doesn't take away from the fact that this is just extremely dangerous, because this person is wanted for a murder. We don't have any information at this point as to when and where that took place, but we know that LAPD officers from the Newton Division spotted this car. They knew it had been connected to that murder in some way. They tried to pull it over. The driver stopped, gave up, but the passenger took off. Absolutely. You could definitely sense his desperation when the 110 freeway came to an end, and then he jumped on the Vincent Thomas Bridge, then went the wrong way a few times, nearly hit a pedestrian, and was just driving between vehicles that were coming right at him, and was somehow able to weasel his way out of that, get back onto the 110 North, which I think it was his intention to stay on that 110 North and go back to where this all began, which would have been just south of downtown. But when he ran over that spike strip, that really changed things for this driver, and he was forced to exit, but he still hasn't stopped. Thankfully, the speed's much lower than what we saw earlier, but at one point we saw triple digits. It really was highly dangerous. It still is. But continuing now on surface streets, Main here, north of the 91 now. So our next freeway that's going to come up is the 105, but at the speeds that he's going at, it's going to be quite a bit before we get there. Yeah, and he was going, I think, at one point about 130 or so. Again, what is described as a Toyota Corolla, but it was really going fast on the 110 freeway, giving us a run for our money, but we eventually caught up as he almost got to the end of the 110 freeway. He just ran that red there, by the way. Thankfully, everybody else stopped for him. One thing that is working in this guy's favor is that he's got all those units behind him, so people are seeing the police units, they're hearing the sirens, and so they are thankfully stopping at the intersections, even when they have the green, and then this guy is just continuing right on through. But we're now getting into the Rancho Dominguez area, so almost into the Compton area, but continuing northbound on Main. He hasn't turned onto any other street really since exiting the freeway. Yeah, he's at Main with the intersection here with Rosecrans. Please slow down, please slow down. Oh gosh, this guy's crawling through the intersection, and everybody else, of course, going practically freeway speeds here on surface streets here through the area, but thankfully made it through that one without getting T-boned and hurting anyone else, too. But he just made it through Rosecrans, continuing northbound on Main. Again, eventually we will get up to the 105 freeway, but I highly doubt that this guy's even going to try to get on the freeway, considering that he's just crawling on streets here. But we still have plenty of units behind him. Even if he tries to abandon the vehicle and take off running, he's going to have a tough time. Look at all these squad cars here from the LAPD. And beyond that, beyond those black and whites, I do see some unmarked units too, plus the police helicopters overhead. So there's really no chance that this person's going to be able to get out of this one. The question is just, how is this going to end? Is he just simply going to come to a stop? Is the vehicle going to get disabled? At this point, he's really not going to be able to go much faster than this, though, considering that he's missing that front driver's side tire. That bumper is hanging on for dear life. It's incredible after how long this guy has been dragging it across the streets here of the Carson and now Willowbrook area. It's pretty incredible that it hasn't completely torn off, but we believe that that damage was caused when he had exited the 110 freeway and then tried to get back on. He must have hit one of the other vehicles that he nearly had collided with, and has been dragging it ever since. Even before he hit that spike strip, he was already dragging that bumper. We will likely see him lose it at some point if he doesn't come to a stop before then, but still no sparks coming from that front rim, despite the fact that that tire is completely gone. Oh yeah, absolutely. Considering that they have at least one person that was in the car, that person can easily tell them, hey, this is who was with me. This is the person that's in that car. And then, of course, even if that wasn't the original homicide suspect, this person still fled. This is still evading, and obviously reckless driving. We witnessed that ourselves, of course. So even if this person wasn't wanted for the homicide and was wanted for perhaps just something else, they just should have stopped. They were the passenger in all of this. They would have been taken into custody at the initial traffic stop, just like the driver. But for whatever reason, they decided to jump in the driver's seat and they took off. Again, we know that at least one person is in custody. Whether there were any other passengers in the car at the time, though, that is unknown. Yeah, normally on police pursuits, we see about 3 squad cars typically, maybe 5, but in this case, it's really rare to see this many. And those are just the black and whites that we can see. I can see beyond that that there's some unmarked units following as well. In situations like this, they can also request a police canine unit to start trailing the vehicle as well, so that when the vehicle does come to a stop, they at least have the canine officer as a potential resource that they can use to try to bring things to a peaceful end. But you can see the street gets a little bit more narrower here. We're still on Main, but becoming highly residential here. Lots of apartment complexes on either side of the street as we approach 118th Street here in the Wilmington area. Yeah, absolutely. This chase has been going on now for about 40 minutes or so. So if they haven't heard about it from the TV, they of course can hear all of the helicopters overhead. They're also hearing the sirens from the multiple police units that continue to chase this guy. So I am seeing a lot more pedestrian traffic, as you said. People just coming out to take a look. Of course, have to document it for their social media or it didn't happen. But continuing northbound on Main, we're coming up to Imperial Highway, of course, a major street here through the area, and it looks like he's just going to continue right on through. So earlier I had said, I think this guy's going to take the 110 North. I think he's going to go back to where it all began. That may still be the case. He may still go back to where it all began, but considering that the freeway isn't really an option for him anymore at these speeds, he can take Main Street all the way up to just south of downtown. It does run parallel to the 110 freeway on the east side of the freeway, pretty much the entire stretch, even into downtown. So I think at this point, that may be where we're going. Yeah, absolutely. I think that whoever's driving this car is likely on the phone. They're probably saying their goodbyes to whoever they have to, knowing that when this comes to an end, this person will likely go away for a long time. If, in fact, they are the person that the LAPD was searching for in connection with that homicide. Of course, even if they're not found guilty of that at the end of the day, they are, of course, going to be found guilty of reckless driving, failure to yield, evading. So this person just tacking on the charges here. And I'll tell you that there is a dispatcher that is documenting everything that this person is doing. So the units behind him, they're calling out every street that he's crossing over, every red light that he's running, every stop sign that he's running, and that all gets added on when things are said and done. You can see, though, continuing northbound on Main, and our shot will start to get further. As you can tell, he is going into the LAX airspace now, so the shot will get a little bit further as he enters the LAX airspace here, just north of the 105 freeway on Main Street. Go ahead, Booth. I got you, Booth. Go ahead. Booth, go ahead. Okay. NOC, can I get the Telemundo IFB? I have it, but can you reset it? Hey, Telemundo, I can almost hear you. It's pretty scratchy. NOC, could you reset it again? Maybe another hilltop? Could we try like a PV maybe? No, it's still super staticky. Yeah, good. From the other side? Okay. Hey, I know, see, it's still extremely scratchy. I think I can kind of make it out, though, enough to talk if I just don't get any questions after. Casi no, pero por lo menos puedo dar un reportaje si no me preguntan preguntas después. Okay. Hold on just a sec, because we're going to do our telemundo hit. Enrique, el vehículo continúa aquí en la calle Main, yendo hacia el norte, acercándose a la calle 87. Y la policía de Los Ángeles de la división sigue persiguiendo a este sospechoso de homicidio en un carro negro, una Toyota Corolla. Y obviamente ya ha perdido por lo menos una llanta del vehículo y continúa a velocidades no muy altas, claro, a causa de que le falta una llanta. Y ahorita está manejando hacia el área de LAX, del aeropuerto de Los Ángeles, y por eso es que estamos a esta distancia, ya que no nos podemos acercar más. Pero como pueden ver, hay aproximadamente 7 patrullas de la policía de Los Ángeles que sigue persiguiendo a este sospechoso que continúa yendo hacia el norte. Entonces, en esta dirección en la cual va, está todavía en el sur de Los Ángeles, pero yendo más hacia el centro de Los Ángeles, donde todo esto empezó aproximadamente a las 4 de la tarde, cuando la policía de Los Ángeles trató de parar el vehículo, y el vehículo inicialmente sí paró. El conductor del carro se salió, pero el pasajero después se llevó el vehículo, y fue cuando la persecución empezó yendo en la autopista 110 en dirección sur hasta llegar al área de San Pedro, donde el conductor dio la vuelta y continuó en dirección hacia el norte en la autopista, hasta que finalmente perdió esa llanta. Y desde entonces hemos estado aquí en la calle Main yendo hacia el norte, donde continuamos ahora. Apenas acaba de cruzar la calle 75 aquí en la calle Main, continuando hacia el centro de Los Ángeles. He just... Go ahead, George, you can go. Al momento pensamos que la policía de Los Ángeles está tratando de dar un poco de espacio, ya que posiblemente el sospechoso está armado. Al momento no tenemos información sobre el homicidio que ocurrió y exactamente dónde y cuándo fue que eso ocurrió. Si la persona usó una pistola o usó algo como un cuchillo, al momento se desconoce esa información. Pero claro, los oficiales de la policía de Los Ángeles tienen más información sobre este conductor, y posiblemente es por esa razón a la cual le están dando un poco de distancia, y acaba de dar la vuelta, como pudieron ver aquí basado en la imagen. Dio la vuelta hacia el oeste y en rumbo a la autopista 110 aquí en el área del sur de Los Ángeles. Yeah, go ahead, go for it, George. He's just under the 110 freeway now. He's just on the west side of the freeway. He's coming our way. He may be getting on the 110 south, George. Oh, we lost it on that turn. There we. Okay, George, you can hold here. He's coming at us. He's going 110 south. Yeah, we're back with you guys. You can hold here, George. He's coming at us. Okay. He may be exiting again. Yeah. Hey there, Michael. I'm having a little bit of an IFB issue, so I'm going to ask NOC if they could reset it. But he just exited off of the 110 freeway after getting on for just one exit's worth. He did get on to that 110 south. He stayed on it just until he could exit again and is currently under the 110 freeway. We should see him pop out the other side here. You see all of those LAPD units still behind him, and he is picking up a little bit of speed. I'm really surprised by that, considering that he has been driving relatively slow here the last 15 minutes or so, considering that he lost that tire. But he is now going eastbound here, eastbound in the area of Broadway and 87th. NOC, can you reset the NBC IFB? I was surprised. I was, Michael, because I wasn't expecting him to try to get on the freeway at all going forward, just because of the heavy damage to the vehicle, and he hadn't tried to get on the freeway ever since he lost that tire in that successful spike strip attempt, or successful spike strip on the 110 freeway. And he had stayed on Main during the last 15, 20 minutes or so before he made a westbound turn, went to the 110 freeway, and then simply got on and got right back off. But you see the officers are still very close by, currently in the area of Main and Manchester, which is always extremely difficult for us because of LAX airspace rules. But you can still see all of the units directly behind him as he continues northbound, crossing over 83rd, and that bumper still hanging on, and that tire still the only one that has been damaged here during the chase. The only thing I can mention, folks, that's near here is the 77th Street Division of the LAPD, so the police station down here. Other than that, it is highly residential and commercial, but really not too much in the way of landmarks that most folks would know, other than, of course, the police station there. But he's continuing on Main. I should mention he's just on the east side of the 110 freeway. He's north of the 105, so north of Imperial Imperial Highway and continuing trekking along here on Main, and it seems to be a street that he knows very well because we have been up and down it now for quite some time. A chase that started nearly an hour ago that has really been on the 110 freeway, and it's been on Main. It really hasn't been really nowhere else other than that. It's not unusual. That's usually what we see in police pursuits, where drivers tend to return to an area that is familiar to them. And it makes a lot of sense when you think about it. If you are in your neighborhood, you're going to know where all of the dead ends are. You're going to know where your friend lives. You're going to know where a parking structure is. So it really does give you more options when it comes to trying to evade the authorities. So that is why we typically do see that. Of course, we also see people who try to make a run for the border and just go south on the 5 till something happens and they are taken into custody. He just made that eastbound turn onto Florence, though. So, George, if we could backtrack, maybe go south on Alameda, because he's headed eastbound now on Florence, toward the Florence-Graham area here in South LA. He's behind us, George. Yeah. Oh, okay. Go ahead. Okay, cool. Thank you. NOC, can you reset the NBC IFB? Telemundo, we're ready. Hey there, I'm ready. Okay. Y el carro ahorita está en un área donde en verdad no podemos volar con facilidad, ya que está en el área del aeropuerto de Los Ángeles. Pero la persecución continúa aquí en el área de las calles 65 y Avalon. En un momento voy a poder mostrarles el vehículo una vez más. Ahí lo ven yendo ahora hacia el sur en la calle Avalon, acercándose a la calle 70. Y todavía es la policía de la ciudad de Los Ángeles, de la división Newton, que sigue persiguiendo a este conductor. Al área de Newton es justo al sur del centro de Los Ángeles, y es donde esta persecución empezó aproximadamente ya hace una hora, cuando la policía trató de parar el vehículo, una Toyota Corolla negro en color, y el vehículo inicialmente sí paró. El conductor del vehículo o conductora salió y la policía arrestó a esa persona, pero fue cuando el pasajero se subió al asiento detrás del volante y empezó a evadir a la policía, llevándonos hasta donde se acaba la autopista 110 en el área de San Pedro, y fue donde el conductor se salió de la autopista, dio la vuelta y regresó en la autopista 110 en dirección norte hasta que perdió una llanta, y fue cuando empezó a manejar aquí en las calles del sur de Los Ángeles, también en el área de Wilmington y Carson, pero ahora nos encontramos en el área del sur de Los Ángeles, todavía continuando en la calle Avalon yendo hacia el sur. Correcto, todas estas calles son calles grandes aquí en el sur de Los Ángeles, la calle Main, por ejemplo, ahorita estamos en la calle Avalon, por un momento se volvió a montar a la autopista 110, pero no estamos lejos de donde todo esto empezó. Entonces, lo que creo que está pasando es que el conductor probablemente está en el teléfono hablando con sus familiares, tratando de averiguar si es que puede hacer algo en esta situación, pero claro, la policía de Los Ángeles piensa que el vehículo en verdad no va a poder continuar mucho tiempo más, ya que ha perdido una llanta, y le están dando la oportunidad a la conductora que pare y se entregue a la policía. NBC, I'm back with you.